A directive decision of the people of Limerick in May 2019 opting for a directly elected mayor with executive powers. That's what the people of Limerick voted for, was a directly elected mayor with executive powers. What we have in this, Minister, is a diluted version of what they were expecting. And if we look at it from a basis of Limerick, and people have spoken here around the chamber today about Limerick being the first to have a directly elected mayor. Of course it has to be Limerick because we're the first in everything. And when we go about something, we can do it right. But by doing this right, we'll have to make amendments to it to make sure it is right. Because people, again, I said, don't want a diluted version. We looked at the staffing of the directly elected mayor. They can choose one. 4 are being chosen for them. That, again, is something we've got to look at. They can look for a special advisor. That, again, is up to directly elected mayor. The cost of having a directly elected mayor, which has been covered by government, for how long? Does this money, after 4 or 5 years now, come out of the budget for the local authority for Limerick? That hasn't been finalised yet. It was talked about, it would have been looked after for the first 2 years, when it was spoken about earlier. I want a timeline. If this comes out of the budget for Limerick, our budget needs to go up. The directly elected mayor will have €8 million that they have in funding. That's pittance for the first directly elected mayor. If you look at it, to get water from Limerick to Croom, it's cost them €4 million. And you give the directly elected mayor for Limerick City and County €8 million of a budget. We have 40 elected councillors in Limerick City and County, 21 in the city, 19 in the county. And all their powers are being depleted off them, even though they're directly elected by the people of Limerick from the areas that they represent, from your party, from Fianna Fáil, from independents, across the board, directly elected, and you're allowing their powers being depleted year on year. And they'll say what they have for their counties. Why is the Limerick team so good at hurling? Why? They invested in the infrastructure for the players to make them what they are today. They put in the proper management team, and they put all the other services around them, and what built into what we have today of 4 in a row, and hopefully we'll have 5, is because infrastructure into the team and the proper management. That's why we can build things in Limerick, with the proper infrastructure. The Taoiseach was in Fines during the week at the Flying Boat Museum, and I welcome him to come there. And investment has been done in Fines. And then we were in Newcastle West at the running track, and then Mr. Heather Humphreys was in Broadford. And I've never heard so many ministers say rural Ireland, rural Ireland. That's all they kept saying. Every second word was out of their mouth was rural Ireland. The first place they heard rural Ireland was here, from the independents. And now they realise rural Ireland is taking it no more. But announcing the fundings that they announced in Limerick, which I welcome, and I welcome much more of it, the one thing that they have forgotten about is the infrastructure. They talked about the next generation of people in Limerick. By fixing up our local halls, which is great and I welcome it, it doesn't provide houses for the area for my children and grandchildren and all the children and grandchildren of all the people in County Limerick to come home, because we've no infrastructure in Ula, in hospital, in Fines. This is why we build. And with an €8 million budget for a directly elected mayor, I'm not going to get much done in Limerick. If you said to me 80 million, I'd say, listen, you're going there somewhere along the lines where I can spend that. Minister, you're a Limerick man. We need the powers for our councillors to make sure we can get our infrastructure going. We need the powers for the directly elected mayor, that the executive cannot just go into one area, that it has to cover Limerick City and County with the funding that we need. to make sure that Limerick can grow into the place I know it will become. But unless you give me the basics of funding for infrastructure and the basic funding through the models for infrastructure, sewerage and water, I can't rebuild Limerick. One minister said to me the other day, "You're saying that there's nothing been built in rural Ireland." And that came from Patrick O'Donovan. I said to Patrick, and I'll say it here on the record, "You're here and you will deliver because I'm going to make you deliver. That's my job. No matter what you deliver, I'm going to make you deliver it and more. Because you're 2003, you were elected, and it's now you're only delivering because you've been made deliver. For the people of Limerick, I'm going to make every TD and minister deliver for us. For the mayor in Limerick, I want more powers. I want more powers that they can deliver for the people that they represent. I want more of a budget for the people of Limerick so we can make sure for the whole of Ireland that we have a model that if they want to have a mayor in Dublin, they can have a mayor in Dublin. But it'll be built on what Limerick will have in excellence and when they have a directly elected mayor. That's what we want, Minister. More money, more powers, and more powers for our local councillors. Thank you.